miles.
1,100 miles.
And not as much daylight, especially
Exactly right.
this time of year.
Exactly. This should be a lot colder up there, but that's the kind of flip-flop that we're talking about. So snowfall totals. Wow, what a storm here north and west of the Twin Cities. That is 16.5 in St. Augusta. We got as much as nearly a foot in Isanti, which is just off to the north and along 35 there. So really healthy snowstorm, especially north of the Twin Cities. And it really does appear to be winding down now. It's amazing, you know, there were a couple hundred car accidents today in the Twin Cities. So even though they are very seasoned, it's a big city, and we had a lot of problems on the roads today, and the snow is going to continue. We think overnight it's going to be lighter snow. It's not going to be as big of a deal tonight. And again, it's winding down for the most part. The heavier snow now coming up into northern Wisconsin, into Duluth, as well as Ashland. Moderate snow has been coming down there for a while. Also here in the UP of Michigan, the upper peninsula of Michigan. That's this little area of land right in there. And there it's going to be snowing for quite some time yet. So that's where we're talking about potentially more than a foot of snow going forward. Still going to be snowing there even into tomorrow afternoon. So this is the model forecast. There's the snow winding down in Minnesota tonight. And then here we find the snow continuing hour after hour. Northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon. The winds very strong there coming out of the northeast around that low. And so we're going to get a lot more snow through tomorrow. Also, one more thing to tell you about the upslope flow here in the Rockies. That's when we get easterly winds, and that wind drives into the mountains, and because the air is lifted right here, that creates some more snow than when we see otherwise. And so we are getting snow tonight in Denver, and this after temperatures in the middle 60s over the weekend. How about that for a turnaround?
Ooh, and that's nice for the ski resorts.
It's great for the ski resorts. They definitely love to see this.
And if you're not a fan of the cold, Paul Goodlow has some bad news. Paul?
Perhaps I should be doing a travel segment here to tell you where you can go, because in some places it's going to be cold, solid cold for 2 straight weeks. Thanksgiving might be the next day that some people get above freezing. We're talking about you in Minneapolis right now. Look at this. Temperatures as we head towards Wednesday. So 2 days from now, they're not just cold, they are frigid. Denver, that's 41 degrees below average. And like Chris just mentioned, this is not going to be a short-lived little cold spell. This is going to come in and be like that holiday relative doesn't leave for a couple of days, couple of weeks. Maybe it's going to come and stick around and get very comfortable. Even down towards Houston, below average on Wednesday. We're going to fast forward this 2 more days onto Friday. And look at this. Now the cold air getting into the southeast as well, pushing on towards the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. Chicago, 32 for a high on Friday. Minneapolis, we're still in the 20s. Denver has warmed up somewhat, but still well below average. And then 2 more days into Sunday, and we're still solidly cold across a good, say, 2/3, if not 75% of the nation. This is just wild so early. The Twin Cities, look at this. We start with tomorrow, take you on through the 20th, and also took a peek towards the week after that. We still stay below freezing. We could see maybe 14 days at least of straight below freezing temperatures. That could put us at the 2nd longest streak here in November for cold days in the Twin Cities. Kelly?
And Paul, you know another place dealing with snow and rapidly falling temperatures? Rapid City, South Dakota. Right now we've got 15 degrees. Our Reynolds Wolf is there braving the elements. We're going to check in with him right after your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky, high 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour.
My job was so hard on my hands.
The cracks were the worst part.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
There was a difference within just minutes of it absorbing into my skin.
Only O'Keefe's has given me the relief that I need.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry skin that cracks and splits.
Ring ring?
Progresso.
It's okay that your soup tastes like my homemade.
It's our slow-simmered vegetables and tender white meat chicken.
Apology accepted. I'm watching you, soup people.
Make it Progresso or make it yourself.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our SnapFix app. Visit angieslist.com today.
Oh, no.
Who are you?
Daddy, this is Blair. He booked this room with Priceline Express deals and saved a ton.
I got everything I wanted. I always do. You seem nice.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
In the nation, misfortune doesn't take a holiday. But add brand new belongings from Nationwide and we'll replace stolen or destroyed items with brand new versions. Making sure every season is the season of giving. Just another way we put members first. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires. And now they have an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty.
Guess we're going to be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread-wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
I told my dentist about my sensitive teeth. He told me there's a whole new way to treat sensitivity. He suggested I try new Crest Sensi-Stop strips.
Just apply to the gum line of sensitive teeth for a quick 10 minutes. The special ingredient forms a lasting barrier that provides immediate relief and up to 1 month of protection. See why dental professionals endorse Crest Sensi-Stop strips to treat sensitivity. That's one strip, 10 minutes, and up to 1 month of protection. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Life opens up when you relieve sensitivity.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander. For a cleaner, healthier home. Certified. It's our new standard of clean. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Well, when you think winter, sometimes this is probably what comes to mind, right? This is live right now in Forest Lake, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities. Looking there, it is only about 29 degrees and it is windy out there. We've got some snow coming down and your wind chill factor, by the way, only 16 degrees. That's what it feels like when you go outside with exposed skin. So don't have any exposed skin, basically. Cover up.
It's way too early for that. In fact, the snow fell hard also in the Black Hills today, and our very own Reynolds Wolf has been enduring it for most of the day.
Yeah, you look like you're trying to cover up as much as you can out there, Reynolds. Can you talk?
Guys, I feel
I feel like a bandit when I cover up my nose. You know, a bandit that's committed a robbery, robbing people of the warm weather they had 48 hours ago. Can you believe if they had sunny skies and they had temperatures that were mostly in the 60s? That is a faded memory that's gone off over the Black Hills, and what's replaced it is the cold air that we're feeling right now. One thing that you guys might be seeing at home and our viewers across America, you might see a few telltale snowflakes that are moving around. Let me tell you, most of the snow has really stopped. It's really beginning to dissipate. What's going to come in, though, is another installment of this weather scenario, and that's going to be the Arctic blast, where tomorrow morning we could have temperatures that could be below zero, and then when the winds kick up and we might see strong winds overnight, by tomorrow morning it is going to be absolutely brutal. Let me show you something. Our day actually started out here with quite a bit of ice. You can look at this presidential statue. This is President Johnson, Andrew Johnson from Tennessee, not this guy from Tennessee, but the statue, and there's a nice coating of ice. That's what we were greeted with earlier this morning. This veneer of ice that was on a lot of the roadways, a lot of the surfaces. Then you had the snow on top of it. I'd say anywhere from 2 to maybe 5 inches of snowfall. Although the roads are in fine shape and you see everyone making their way through, and you see a lot of the businesses are wide open, I'll tell you, it's going to be tough sledding on much of the roadways. In fact, roadway sledding is what may happen along parts of 90. Lots of icing possible as we get to the overnight hours. As those temperatures go down, doobie down, it's going to be brutal. Hey, I've got to tell you, the snow's not going to stay locked in place because it will make its way, or at least the cold air will, affecting millions of people. We're talking, again, thousands of miles affected millions of people, and it's a cold snap that, at least here in Rapid City, is going to last well through the weekend. Let's send it back to you.
All right, thanks. It's Reynolds Wolf, a little sleepy Reynolds Wolf, Rapid City, South Dakota. Hey, we talk about all that snow and ice. You can definitely bet on travel concerns, whether it's on the ground or in the sky.
That's right. Let's take a look at the conditions right now, kind of taking a little bit of a tour. We're right now in Denver. We've got some light snow coming down where you are. Temperatures are in the upper teens. And yeah, we're dealing with a ground stop. So de-icing is definitely going to hold you back a little bit.
Yeah, and again, so if you are planning ahead, don't call the airport, call the airline, check online, make sure you're not needlessly waiting there at the airport. If you're stuck at the airport, well, they got malls and shops at the Twin Cities. Pretty big airport. You can definitely entertain yourself and the kids for a while. But speaking of travel, it has been definitely a tricky situation for some drivers trying to get in and around with all this snow and ice.
And Lindsay Schmidt with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation joins us right now on the phone to talk about those road conditions. Thanks so much for joining us. What have crews been having to deal with there today?
Sure, we've got a unique situation happening in Wisconsin here. The northern half of our state, from basically Green Bay to the Twin Cities and Minnesota, is getting really, really heavy snowfall, snow-covered roads just about everywhere, and completely clear conditions south of that. So we've got plows out, and they're keeping up best that they can.
And Lindsay, how does your department prepare for this blast of winter weather? You know, is it almost a case of we can't believe it's really happening again so soon after last winter?
It is a little bit like that, but this is Wisconsin. We're used to snow. We're prepared. Certainly, we didn't expect such varying conditions in the state. Usually, if we get hit, we all get hit. But certainly, we're prepared for snowfall. We are monitoring conditions here from our State Traffic Operations Center and keeping everyone up to date.
All right, Lindsay Schmidt with the Department of Transportation in Wisconsin, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's going to be a tough job trying to keep those roads passable in the coming hours.
Yeah, because temperatures won't warm for the next couple of weeks. Hey, what a difference a week can make, though, from driving with the windows down.
And even the moonroof open. But, yeah, now you're dealing with this, trying to navigate along those snowy, icy roads. Our first named winter storm definitely making its presence known.
Up next, we're headed back to the lab to break down this polar air invasion that will include day after day of relentless Arctic air.
Alaska. There's only one place you can stand on top of the world, experience nature on its own terms, and create a little wildlife of your own. Dance to a different drummer and do something you've never done before. Then just when you thought you'd seen it all, you realize it's only Tuesday. Begin your adventure at AlaskaBeyondYourDreams.com.
Check.
Aha. No! Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks. Guaranteed.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready app and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Everyone sees the same sky. But when we look up, we see something amazing. This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this. Listen to that.
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies, low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
To mix things up a bit with Grand's Mini Pot Pies. Only 4 ingredients and a few easy steps. Weeknight dinner in a flash, and my family devours them. Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make dinner pop.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
Musical chairs. Fun, right? Well, not when your travel rewards card makes it so hard to get a seat using your miles. That's their game. The flights you want are blacked out, or they ask for some ridiculous number of miles. Honestly, it's time to switch to the Venture card from Capital One. With Venture, use your miles on any airline, any flight, anytime, no blackout dates. And with every purchase, you'll earn unlimited double miles. From now on, no one's taking your seat away. What's in your wallet?
When we're having this much fun, why quit? And Bounty has no quit in it either. Watch how one sheet of Bounty keeps working, while their 2 sheets just quit. Bounty, the no-quit picker-upper.
All great heroes start somewhere.
Where are we going? How should I know? Live on the flippin' frozen tundra.
From DreamWorks Animation comes the untold story of how 4 brothers became the Penguins of Madagascar. Skipper.
Grab your coconuts and hold them tight.
Kowalski.
We're approaching our target.
Rico.
He's working on a whole nother level.
And Private.
We'll need a diversion. You're up, Private. You just mermaid my day.
DreamWorks Penguins of Madagascar.
Crikey!
Rated PG, November 26th.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strong...
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Just looking over the company bills.
Is that where we pay for internet?
Yep, DSL's about $90 a month.
That's funny. For that price with Comcast Business, I think you get like 50 megabits.
Wow, that's fast.
Personally, I prefer slow internet. There is something about the sweet, meditative glow of a loading website.
Don't listen to the naysayer. Switch to Comcast Business today and get 50 megabits per second for $89.95. Comcast Business, built for business.
Nobody works harder than Vince Marotta.
Vince Marotta's knowledge of the market is second to none.
Vince came to look at the condo with great enthusiasm. He told me he'd be able to sell it, and he did it within 2 weeks in off-season.
He even walked my dog and gave my dog cookies.
I'm Vince Marotta. Give me 30 minutes, and I believe I can earn your business. Your journey begins at MarottaRealty.com.
6. Or go to HumanaBigBook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Welcome back, everyone. You're just in time for our winter weather update. I'm in the lab with our storm specialist, Carl Parker, and this is pretty much going as we forecast, pretty much, with the Arctic air, and now we've got the snow as well.
Yeah, you know, the European model actually did a better job. It had the snow coming right over Minneapolis and maybe a little north of Minneapolis. There have been a lot of accidents here today. I don't know if you saw
about
that.
300, I think
393 car crashes and even more spinouts than that. Even more spinouts.
Wow.
So, you know, they have a lot of practice with winter weather up there. I mean, they really know what they're doing, generally speaking, but
you know what it is? It's the first snow of the year.
First one.
People forget sometimes.
Yeah,
you just got to go a little slower. You know, it doesn't matter if you've got an SUV or really good tires. It doesn't matter.
You need to get sort of acclimated once again. And, you know, the snow is winding down now. It's been an incredible storm, especially north of town. Isanti, north on 35, 11 inches. Northwest of town on 94. Near St. Cloud, we've gotten as much as 16 inches of snow. So a very, very healthy storm. That, again, is winding down now. We're going to talk more about the model forecast in a moment. But going back to late last week, this is that incredible storm in western Alaska around the Bering Sea. And this thing just dropped down so much in terms of central pressure. One of the strongest storms that we've seen in recent years that is not tropical. And we want to talk about the meaning of a bomb.
Right, because this really was, it bombed out.
It was a bomb. A meteorological bomb is a storm that drops by 24 millibars in 24 hours. Now, in this case, the storm started out with a pressure of 990 on Thursday evening, and then it dropped down possibly to 924 by Friday evening. So in 24 hours, more than 60 millibars when the standard is 24. So this actually fits the definition, not that there's a definition, but it actually could be called a super bomb.
Oh my gosh.
Like one of those really rare storms that bombs out.
Not just a regular bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Like a superstorm or a super bomb. I mean, just an unbelievably strong storm. And we talked about the fact that it was going to bring a lot of warm air up into Western Canada and help to bring that colder air down from Canada into North America. So it's not that it wouldn't have happened without that, but I think it enhanced it. It absolutely helped it. And so you've got this huge area of Arctic air that's going to be dominating, and man, is it cold out there.
I mean, yeah, winds gusting to 35 in Buffalo, Wyoming, close to 30 in Pierre. So we're talking about really dangerous wind chill factors.
Very strong winds, negative values here. Buffalo got 4 in Pierre and 6 in Saratoga, and we have seen incredible temperature changes as well across this region. So here's a look, a close-up look at the plains. This was earlier today.
53 in Denver.
53 in Denver, 62 in Pueblo, and then this cold air came right down along the Front Range of the Rockies. Look at that, 68 in Pueblo, and already temperatures are beginning to drop into the 30s there just off to the north. So huge, huge
changes. We're looking live right now, by the way, at, I think this is in Colorado, is that right?
Yeah, near the Eisenhower Tunnel.
Yeah, and you can see just how the snow has filled in across this area. You mentioned 50s earlier at lunchtime, and now for dinner time, it's a snowstorm out there.
And for a lot of people, this would be miserable, but if you're a skier out there in Colorado, if you work for the resorts, this is wonderful news to get that snow out there.
Absolutely, a good shot in the arm for the ski industry for sure. But again, we mentioned earlier, slow it down, ease off the gas a little bit. I mean, almost 400 accidents in Minnesota. Even though we're used to the snow in this part of the country, you still got to take it easy.
Absolutely. And, you know, along with this really sharp front, we've seen very strong winds. The winds have been gusting up to 60 miles per hour here, and that's been kicking up dust, and we're going to talk more about that at the top of the hour. So it really has been a dramatic change in the weather across the Central Plains. Here we are going into 6 o'clock, and we expect to see this cold air continuing to drive right down through Texas tomorrow. Big changes on the way in Dallas and Midland and San Antonio. And then here again is that snowfall. We'll have more on this at the top of the hour. And in the UP of Michigan, which is right in here, we're looking for possibly another foot of snow before it's all said and done.
All right, Carl, thanks so much. Paul, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, guys. As Carl just talked about, cold air is coming, and it's only going to get colder. We're not talking just a couple of degrees here. We're talking about relentless Arctic air that you'll have to deal with day after day, perhaps week after week.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies. Low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to winter. At least that's how it's looking across the northern plains and the upper Midwest right now. Several states buried in close to a foot of snow with icy temperatures to go along with it. A 1-2 punch from Winter Storm Astro and an invasion of Arctic air have our teams busy all across the country right now. Meteorologist Reynolds Wolf is covering our first named winter storm of the season in Rapid City, South Dakota. Mike Seidel is braving the elements near the Twin Cities, and our storm specialist Carl Parker is tracking it all from the lab. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. Good Monday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Paul Goodlow. Parts of the country are looking more like January than November, with 6 million people feeling the effects of Winter Storm Astro, 200 million impacted by the invasion of polar air, pushing all the way into the deep south.
Well, we're going to start with more coverage of what Winter Storm Astro is actually doing to the conditions outside. One of the areas seeing the storm's worst is basically the Twin Cities area.
Yeah, so meteorologist Mike Seidel, he is live in Forest Lake, Minnesota, and they're about 45 minutes north of the Twin Cities, Mike, and you got a lot more snow there than just south of you in the Twin Cities. Again, we're talking, 30, 40 miles. Huge difference with this storm.
Yeah, very tight gradient. That's the way it's set up. That's why we moved up here yesterday. Our forecasters, Stu Ostro, Tom Moore, John Erdman, Tom Nizzle, myself, we all looked at it, and so we got to move north because the models were trending north. They'd been doing that for 3 days. Back on Friday, we thought we'd be down around Mankato. Then Saturday, we'll stay in the Twin Cities. So we moved up here. We've had about 9 inches of snow. Areas around the area have had more than a foot. Down around the airport, we haven't gotten the official number, last check, about 3 or so. What happened there, the snow stopped about 8:30 this morning. Then they had some freezing rain and sleet. Now it's back to light snow. But I tell you, that really cuts into your accumulations when you mix or when it just stops snowing. We had about 8 inches in about 6 or 7 hours. It was snowing at more than an inch an hour. It's a light, puffy, fluffy snow with temperatures in the mid-20s. Impact at the airport over at Minnesota at MSP International, about 150 flights have been canceled. That's about 13% of their schedule, and about 300 flights delayed. That's about a quarter of their schedule, so always check ahead with your air carrier. Light snow now. We may have more bursting overnight as the upper low comes near us, and we could pick up another 1 to 3 inches of snow around the Twin Cities. Roads now are wet and slushy where they've been treated, but now that the sun has set, once we lose the traffic, temperatures will fall into the low 20s. We'll have everything kind of icing up before tomorrow morning's rush hour. Kelly, Paul, back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much. Mike Seidel trying to keep warm out there in Forest Lake, Minnesota. We'll be checking back with you throughout the evening.
Well, let's go now further in depth with meteorologist Chris Warren, is standing by in the lab.
Hey guys, yeah, as Mike mentioned, already some problems. Astro hit several states with heavy snow, and it's still going strong for many areas, and poor driving conditions. They started before the sun came up in Black Hills of South Dakota and right on into Minnesota. Air travel, as Mike mentioned, has been impacted. Several flights canceled, even more flights delayed. And it's been a long day for drivers plowing the streets. Some spots, including St. Augusta, Minnesota, already have almost a foot of snow on the ground, with more on the way. Central and northern Michigan could see 12 to 18 inches of snow when it's over. And for expert analysis here in the lab, we have storm specialist Carl Parker, going to break down some interesting features on the satellites and talk about how quickly things can change.
We've all heard that joke about if we wait 5 minutes and the weather changes. Everybody says that about where they live.
Right.
But nowhere is that more true than the central plains of the United States. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happened there. We dropped by 43 degrees in one location in Colorado. Colorado in the space of 3 hours and 49 minutes. 43 degrees. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
you go in to watch a movie and then you come out and it's completely different weather.
If you're not paying attention to the weather, you could really be in a lot of trouble in very short order. And I want to show you a visible satellite picture which really illustrates what's been going on today. So we've been seeing the snow. Notice the more convective cloud there. So that's where the snow has been breaking out in northeast Colorado as well as into Nebraska. But then you'll notice some of the cloud elements are driving south. So that is the front itself. That's the Arctic boundary that's been coming south today. And then when we look very closely, we see right along the leading edge of that Arctic air dust being blown up because the winds were so strong, winds gusting to 61 miles per hour. When you have a big change in temperature, you get a big change in pressure as well. The atmosphere doesn't like that. It tries to equal it back out, and it creates wind to do that. So the greater the change in pressure, the greater the wind. And man, have we seen a lot of wind in the high plains today. And look at this. That is a photo taken by the Pueblo National Weather Service, and there's the leading edge of that dust that we just showed you on the satellite picture. You could see it in the sky today with that Arctic front coming in. And here's another great shot also from the Pueblo NWS. This is from Pikes Peak, and so we're actually above the low-level clouds that came in with that cold air. It's a very shallow layer, so it moves in the lowest levels of the atmosphere, and at 10,000 feet at Pikes Peak, we're actually above the coldest of air right there.
So if this was video, we would see the clouds likely going in different directions, like you pointed out on the satellite.
Absolutely you would. Yeah. You absolutely would, yes. So just beautiful sights out there. And this is what it looked like in terms of the temperature profile. So look at that, 66 in Pueblo at 1 p.m. Denver was sitting at 51, and then by 4:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 34 in Denver, 65 still in Pueblo. But again, we saw just tremendous changes in temperature out there in the Front Range, and that is still occurring at this hour. So here we go into Denver for tonight. Wow, after temperatures being in the 60s earlier today.
Forget about it, man.
It is really chilly out there. If you like winter sports, this is not bad news at all, but it is cold out there. And speaking of winter sports, you could do some cross-country snow skiing there north of Minneapolis. Look at that, 16.5 St. Augusta, 12 inches in New Post. So this is a big old storm, generally just north of the Twin Cities. A lot of accidents there today, nearly 400 accidents in the Twin Cities. It's now winding down. We'll get some additional snow showers through the rest of tonight, and then spotty snow showers in the early tomorrow morning. But the bulk of the snow is basically over at this point. Maybe another 1 or 2 inches. That's going to be about it.
All right, Carl, thanks. Let's go back to Paul.
All right, thanks, guys. More live team coverage of Winter Storm Astro continues next. In fact, meteorologist Reynolds Wolf is in Rapid City, South Dakota, talking about a roller coaster ride of temperatures in the 80s just a few weeks ago, now dealing with several inches of snow. We'll hear from Reynolds right after the break.
And that polar air invasion is going to have temperatures plummeting this evening in just a matter of hours. How cold it will get and how long it will stay frigid. You'll want to stick around for that answer. It's coming up right after your local on the 8s.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up. Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house, except for my husband.
Wait, where are you going? Discover how Tempur-Pedic can move you. And now through December 1st, save up to $500 on a Tempur-Pedic mattress and adjustable base.
Tomorrow night, a Weather Channel special investigation. There's something happening in South Texas.
It was like hell out there.
That can't fully be explained by the weather.
These are mass graves.
The Real Death Valley. Special time, 9 p.m. tomorrow on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 80. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies. Low 62. Winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Oh, no.
Who are you?
Daddy, this is Blair. He booked this room with Priceline Express deals and saved a ton.
I got everything I wanted. I always do. You seem nice.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our SnapFix app. Visit angieslist.com today.
Man, these boneless chicken wings are great.
Yeah, I know. I finally found myself a wingman.
You're going to use the wing as your wingman?
Yeah, for the ladies.
It's going to give you that certain je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais what?
Be a wingman with new all-white meat, boneless chicken wings, and 3 flavors. This is how you Sonic.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Well, welcome back to Weather Center Live as we track Winter Storm Astro, our first-name winter storm of the season. We're also looking at behind the snow, a huge invasion of polar air, rapidly dropping temperatures. Some areas are already dealing with a 20, 30-degree temperature drop, some of that just in an hour. We'll talk about that coming up. But take a look at Dallas. Our forecast tonight, oh yeah, a blue norther this way swings. 68 degrees this evening. Look at this. We get towards tomorrow morning. We drop down to 42 degrees and sunshine tomorrow morning. It is going to be cold and stay chilly for a while. Oklahoma City, we also have the cold air coming in along with some wind. We go from the mid to upper 60s down to 30 degrees as you get out to get that paper. Perhaps even take the dog around the block tomorrow morning. Different season you'll be waking up to. Even Kansas City, we have more cold and more wind here. We go from around 50 degrees this evening and waking up to 27. A cold day at the bus stop for the kids. Kelly?
And Paul, not just there, but the temperature has been falling all day in Rapid City, South Dakota. That mixed with the snow that you now have on the ground, making for a pretty miserable day. But our own Reynolds Wolf is braving the elements to make sure you know exactly what's happening out there. And Reynolds, I know you've been out in the elements all day long today dealing with the snow and the cold. But hey, I saw the Christmas decorations out there on, it looks to be like a Main Street setting. At least you've got that going for you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like season's greetings, but let me tell you, no one's in the mood for presents here. Snow is not that big of a deal here. They deal with quite a bit of it. The issue is having it this early in the season, having it this quick, this big cold punch. What's interesting is you go back in the past, by the way, the president statue, this is Ronald Reagan. It was actually during his administration back in 1986 when they had a cold blast that was very similar to this. You had temperatures that were up to 20 degrees below zero. Well, as we cross this street, St. Joseph Street, we're going to be crossing our way into a big transition later on. The snowfall is going to be tapering off, but what we are going to be getting is more of a shot of that cold air. It is going to be brutal. It's going to be tough. It is going to call not only Rapid City home, but much of the northern plains and across the Midwest. Temperatures that are going to be just brutally cold through the weekend. We will see a bit of a rebound here. Temperatures in the early morning, sub-zero, but going slowly back up into the 20s by the time Saturday comes around. but still far cooler than where they should be for this time of year. It is a shared experience, this wintry blast that we're all embraced in across parts of the country. And to learn more about it, we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Reynolds, we're all in this together. Let's huddle close and try to stay warm out there. Thanks so much for that live report. We're going to check back in with Reynolds a little bit later on because you know what? It's not just Rapid City. It is invading. This cold air is invading much of the country. It's going down south as well. There's really nothing stopping it. So Denver, let's take a look at your forecast here, where this morning you actually had a temperature of 64 degrees. That was your high for the day because after that, it's been downhill ever since. Right now, you've got 18 degrees. You couple in the wind, and it definitely feels like the single digits out there. Here is a look, and you can actually pick out where the cold front is. It's right here because it hasn't moved through Kansas City or Oklahoma City yet, where you've got temperatures in the 60s and 70s. But behind the front, you've got the 20s, low 50s in Dodge City. And by the way, gone in Oklahoma, here in the panhandle of Oklahoma, you were in the 80s earlier. You dropped 30 degrees in just 1 hour, and very strong winds coming in with that as well, gusting over 50 miles per hour. So this is your cold front that is moving through later on tonight. It's going to be affecting Oklahoma City. It's going to Dallas, and it's going to continue on its trek all the way down toward the Gulf Coast. All right, Wednesday morning, it is going to be brutal out there. Places like Yellowstone Lake, Wyoming, minus 14, Sheridan, Wyoming, minus 12. These are going to be some of the coldest temperatures across the entire country come Wednesday morning. Maybe not record-breaking, but still below average. And you'll note that tomorrow morning, we've got a lot of single digits on the map across North Dakota, South Dakota. Look at you, Cheyenne, only 0 as we head towards Wednesday morning. Denver, we're also feeling very, very cold, and it looks like this cold air is going to be sticking around for quite some time and then eventually filtering in to the eastern half of the country as well. Paul?
Well, from those ridiculously cold temperatures to the snow totals that will have you saying, really? We're breaking down the city-specific timing to let you know what to expect and when to expect it. That's all coming up right after your local on the Ace.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing, but Bobby always had a plan. With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
She was a good companion, eyes like the Grand Canyon. She was an American beauty. She was a long goodbye. She was the best I lived by. She was an American beauty. With her wayfarers on in the summer sun, her touch felt like a loaded gun. Wish I had held her long. Yeah. Wish I had held her long.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Check.
Aha. No! Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks. Guaranteed.
Tomorrow night, a Weather Channel special investigation. There's something happening in South Texas.
It was like hell out there.
That can't fully be explained.
Meet the girl who's got everyone talking.
You're pregnant.
But I've never had sex. Critics are calling Jane the Virgin's Gina Rodriguez flat out amazing. There's nothing plain about Jane.
You are way too defensive.
I'm not defensive. She's funny, impressive, charming, ingenuous, a revelation.
I don't usually wear clamshells.
Jane the Virgin is a star vehicle, and Rodriguez is a star.
I'm having a baby.
Critics love the new series, Jane the Virgin.
Tonight at 9 on CW34 WTVX.
Sorry, but our Xfinity internet is faster and more reliable. U-verse doesn't deliver the speeds they promise.
Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Well, hi there.
Have you folks heard about Uverse? It's just you again, but you're wearing a mustache. You got me. Honey, I think we should switch to Uverse. Too far. What are you talking about? Wait.
Don't get uked by Uverse. Get the fastest, most reliable internet only with Xfinity from Comcast.
1000. Ready for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky, high 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies, low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back, everyone. There's a live look at the new Minnesota Vikings Stadium under construction. It is set to open up in 2016. But you know what? Workers had to deal with snow and below freezing temperatures out there today. Yeah, not a good day for working outside, no matter what you do, because we've had wind, we've had cold, and yes, the snow has been coming down for a good part of the day as well. Right now, you're just seeing a few flakes of snow out there, even a few sleet pellets mixed in around the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. You've got snow in Rapid City, temperatures in the mid-teens. And you've got the 20s around Minneapolis, but it feels so much colder when you factor in that gusty wind. So we are tracking Winter Storm Astro, our first named winter storm that will impact some 6 million people, and we are taking it hour by hour. Meteorologist Chris Warren has the city-specific timing to keep you ahead of the storm. Hey, Chris.
Hello to you, Kelly. We're going to start off with a look at Minneapolis already being impacted by Winter Storm Atlas, and still, as you look at the radar, not quite as much blue on the map. This shows us where the snow's coming down, darker blue, heavier snow. It is also a little icy, a little mixed precipitation here, as Kelly was just talking about. And tonight, that snow, we're seeing it taper right now, but in earnest, overall, I mean, any more snow that comes should be tapering off later on. Wind still a bit of a factor, so any of that fresh snow likely to be blown around unless some of that mixed precip kind of tapers things a little bit. And 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. With all that, expect some delays. Tomorrow could even have some delays as well. Morning snow showers expected. Still could see a little bit of snow. The wind's not as big of a factor, and when it's all said and done, many areas about 5 to 8 inches of snow around Minneapolis. Some areas have received a little bit more than that. You get outside of the city. Any additional snowfall, generally about 1 to 3 inches, 3 on the high end of things. You have to get out of town for the higher snowfall totals in addition to what we've already seen. And here throughout parts of Wisconsin, including Duluth, still seeing that snow come down right now. The heaviest, though, just a little bit off to the east and in Duluth. For tonight, heavy snow and blowing snow with those winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. Please be careful on the roads if you're traveling through this area. Then tomorrow, still some lingering snow showers, and those winds also decreasing as well. And about 5 to 8 inches of snow. You see the purple, boom, that just jumps out at you right away. 1 foot to 1.5 foot, some areas out here. However, Duluth itself, again, more like 1 to 3, maybe 5 inches a little bit farther to the south. And here's Marquette, Michigan. This is going to be one of the spots where we see the big-time snowfall totals. Right now, just below the freezing mark, 30 degrees. And throughout the evening, look at all these snowflakes. They are going sideways, which means we look down here and you see these winds out of the northeast coming off of the lake here at 20 miles an hour. And because of that, extra moisture added in, could see another 1.5 foot to 2 feet, Paul.
And we're still 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. Wow, thanks, Chris. We might be wondering why we decided to name Winter Storm Astro. Well, our winter weather expert Tom Nizzle shows us what the criteria are and why this wintry blast fits the bill.
There's a process that we go through when we name winter storms here. It's a quantitative assessment of the winter weather impacts that occur across the nation at a certain scale. We use National Weather Service winter storm warnings as our base for issuing the names for our storms. We have to have 2 million people under a warning or an area that's covered by about the size of the state of Montana in order for us to name a storm. And with the warnings that we have out right now going all the way from the Rockies over to the upper Great Lakes region, we achieved those numbers. In fact, the latest numbers that we have here, 6 million people under a warning and an area that is larger than that state of Montana. And for that reason, we have named Winter Storm Astro. Now, this is going to have a far-ranging impacts throughout the rest of the week because we're not only going to have the snowfall, we're going to have these cold conditions that come down across the nation as well. So it is going to be a major storm, and snowfall, the additional snowfall here, as much as 12 to 18 inches, guys. So we'll stay on top of this throughout the rest of the day.
All right, that first snow of the season, exciting but also dangerous at the same time, right?
Yeah, but if it comes so early, could be a sign of a long snowy season. Kids might be happy.
No, don't even say that. Of course, we're going to continue to cover Winter Storm Astro here on the Weather Channel.
In fact, we have crews in the field. Our own Mike Seidel is standing by. He is in Forest Lake, Minnesota. Take a look at that. We already have in some areas more than 9 inches of snow on the ground. Forest Lake, by the way, about 45 minutes north of Minneapolis.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building. Turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Lowe's presents How to Make It Quiet by Being Loud.
Now get this Whirlpool French door refrigerator for $9.98 at Lowe's.
Life isn't measured in how many days we have, but what we do with them. This year you could do what you've always done, or you could awaken your senses and connect with the world as it was meant to be. That voice inside you, that's Alaska calling. Because vacations, like days, are measured by what we do with them. And here, the days last forever. Begin your adventure at AlaskaBeyondYourDreams.com.
How do you turn an idea into something real? It takes passion, innovation, and most importantly, an after party. The 2015 Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
With 5 perfectly sweetened whole grains, you can't help but see the good.
I've been using Walmart's Savings Catcher. Just enter your Walmart receipt, and if there's a lower advertised price at a top store in your area, Walmart will give you the difference on an e-gift card.
I use the circular to make a turkey. Gobble, gobble.
Really?
Join the millions who are saving with Walmart Savings Catcher.
Tomorrow night, a Weather Channel special investigation. There's something happening in South Texas.
It was like hell out there.
That can't fully be explained by the weather.
These are mass graves.
The Real Death Valley. Special time, 9 p.m. tomorrow on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 73 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky, high 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies, low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, every Sunday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We are watching Winter Storm Astro take shape, the first winter storm of the year.
Yeah, it has several states looking and feeling like the dead of winter with blustery winds, several inches of snow, and downright frigid temperatures. Minneapolis, we hate to tell you this, but you may not even get above the freezing mark for nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe Thanksgiving might be the next day. Well, let's start with all the snowy details. Meteorologist Mike Seidel is live in Forest Lake, Minnesota, with plenty of snow on the ground around you. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Paul, good evening here. We had 9 inches so far. We've got the mayor-elect, Steve Stegler, in the house tonight. Congratulations. You were mayor earlier, though, for 2 terms.
I was, yes. Yes, I was, Mike.
Let's talk about how the city has done today. We had about 9 inches, as I mentioned.
You know, the city really had no problem at all. You know, most of the stores are open. The people are coming and going. You know, we put the cars in all-wheel drive, and we're okay.
And talk about your budget and how much salt you have. Do you have enough salt for this season?
You know, we do have plenty of salt for this season. You know, generally speaking, we set our budgets back in July and August, so it's pretty tough to predict the snowfall. We ran short on our budget last year for snow removal, but this year should be just fine.
But you always plow the snow. You're out there.
We always plow the snow.
You find the money somewhere.
We do. We take away from some of the summer events we plan on doing, but ultimately it's seamless to the residents in Forest Lake. The snow gets plowed on time. We have our public works people working, you know, overtime late at night, removing all the piles of snow from the medians and things like that.
And we've got the DOT plows coming up Broadway. They handle these main surface streets. You handle the streets in town.
We have about 120 miles of roads in Forest Lake. The DOT and county have approximately 5 miles of road, so the lion's share is ours.
And you handle the schools?
We do not handle within the school district itself, but we do all the roads and our collector routes, yes.
Okay, Mayor-elect Steve Stegler, congratulations. Good luck for your next 4 years.
2 years. It's a 2-year term.
2 years. Wow, that's like Congress. You're always running. You're always politicking.
We're always running. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. Up here in Forest Lake, we're only about 30 miles from downtown Minneapolis-St. Paul. Looks like the snow is just about stopped for now. We'll have some more overnight. They have changed, by the way, the warning here and down to the Twin Cities. The warning is now a winter weather advisory, Kelly, until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. North and east of here, rather, it's still a warning. That also expires at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
All right, Mike Seidel reporting live from just north of Minneapolis. Basically, just slow it down out there. And here's a recap of what we know so far from the areas being impacted by Astro right now. In Montana and the Dakotas, Astro started the day with gusty winds and frigid temperatures. Upwards of ½ foot of snow fell there. Minnesota State Police say they've gotten reports of hundreds of vehicles involved in crashes. In fact, nearly 400 at last check. And those slippery conditions are keeping their troopers busy. Wisconsin DOT officials are urging drivers there to be careful as well, with snow accumulating on some highways. Northern parts of Wisconsin could see upwards of 1.5 feet of snow accumulation. We want to get more expert analysis now from meteorologist Chris Warren and our storm specialist Carl Parker joining me now from the lab. Hey guys.
Hey Kelly, and what we're going to look at here first, where the snow is, and then how worldwide, when we look at the snow, whether tends to be like
a lot of connections.
A lot of connections. You're to connect the dots for us here.
Absolutely. We'll tell you what's happening in Minneapolis right now. The snow is winding down, so there is some better news here. It's been a tough day there. Did you hear of 393 car accidents and more spinouts than 393?
It's early season.
It's early season. That's exactly right.
Early season.
Now this first batch of snow is lifting up towards Lake Superior and Duluth, but there's another little round of snow that has yet to come in. You see what's off to the west here. We'll look at the water vapor picture. There are actually a couple of upper disturbances. There's one right there, but then there's this really elongated area which is sitting right in here, and that second disturbance is going to come through, and as it does so, we're going to get some additional snow overnight tonight. Not a lot of it, but there could be some snow showers tomorrow morning there.
Is this kind of like the encore, you think?
Yeah, just a little bit more. Yeah. Just a little bit more. Not a real big deal. But part of all of this winter weather goes back to this incredible storm that we saw near the Aleutian Islands over the weekend. There's the current satellite picture, and look how most of the North Pacific is now spinning because of this incredible storm, this unbelievably strong storm. And we want to talk a little bit about bombogenesis. So this is referring to rapid cyclone intensification. When a storm bombs out, as we say, the central pressure of the storm drops at least 24 millibars in 24 hours. So did that happen in this case? Well, let's check it out. So we'll go back to Thursday, and we saw a low coming off of the Asian continent, and it was merging with this former typhoon, super typhoon, which was near Japan. So the pressure at that point was 990. 990 Thursday, 7 p.m. Remember, it needs to drop by 24 millibars in 24 hours. So let's take it forward 24 hours. We go to 962 at 6:30 in the morning. Then by Friday at 7 p.m., we've gone from 990 to 931, and the minimum central pressure estimated at 924. That's more than 60 millibars of a drop. So this storm could be called a super bomb.
It could almost be a triple bomb.
Yeah, it's much more of a bomb than a regular bomb, that's for sure. It's an incredibly powerful storm, and it really had an impact on the upper level wind flow. So here you have this big dip in the jet stream, and this is a very meridional flow, whereas when you've got a latitudinal flow of the jet stream, things move along. You don't see big intrusions of cold air. But this storm pumped a lot of warm air up into Alaska and Canada and helped to shape this upper level pattern, this pressure and temperature pattern, and brought that cold air right down and across the U.S., where it's going to be for a long time. It's going to be below average for most of the eastern two-thirds of the country right through the weekend. And temperatures, for example, in the Twin Cities are going to be below freezing right into the early part of next week.
And this is an early dose of winter.
It is.
Preview.
Yes.
All right, Carl, thank you. Let's go back to Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hey guys, again, like Carl mentioned, relentless. That is the word we're going to talk about in terms of how cold it will be and how long this cold air will stick around. Now take a look at this map. And typically we show you day after day after day. We're going to skip a couple of days because that's how long it's going to be cold out here. By Wednesday, look at a high in Denver of only 12 degrees. That's 41 degrees below average. Minneapolis, yeah, we're going to be below freezing maybe until the latter part of this month. That's how long it's going to be. Okay, so we go from Wednesday, 2 days out from that to Friday here, and look at the cold air. It is still solidly frigid across the Great Lakes. Again, Chicago only 32, Minneapolis only 20. That's 21 degrees below average. Nashville now a high of only 41 degrees on Friday. You should be, close to 60 degrees. We head towards Sunday again. We move 2 days in the future. That's how long it's going to be here. 17. You're getting colder in the Twin Cities for a high, and we're still stuck at the freezing mark in Chicago at 32 degrees. And Denver, after a brief warming to the 40s, we're back to the 30s for a high temperature as we head on towards Sunday. Now, speaking of these long cold spells, take a look at this. Minneapolis, our average high is 45 degrees. And as we head towards tomorrow, again, we stay in the 20s and stay in the 20s. Then we drop to the teens, and then we stay cold. Well, not only past the 20th, this goes all the way to the 26th on our models. Now, get this. 15, 18-day model is kind of a stretch out there, but it's not showing any warming trends. So Minneapolis, we could have a record of 16 straight days if this forecast holds. Again, we've had a couple of long stretches of cold or below freezing days in November. The longest is 15 consecutive days. We could set that this season, 16 consecutive days of temperatures at 32 or below for the Twin Cities. This is cold for a while. Kelly?
Oh, it sure is, Paul. Thank you. You know, another place dealing with snow and rapidly falling temperatures, Rapid City, South Dakota. Right now, it is only 15 degrees there. Reynolds Wolf is out there braving the elements. We're going to check in with him, see how he's holding up right after your local on the 8th. Stay right there.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky. High 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies. Low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Ring ring?
Progresso.
It's okay that your soup tastes like my homemade.
It's our slow-simmered vegetables and tender white meat chicken.
Apology accepted. I'm watching you, soup people.
Make it Progresso or make it yourself.
There is no car in this accident. Because there was no accident. Volvo's most advanced accident avoidance systems ever. The future of safety from the company that has always brought you the future of safety. Give the gift of Volvo this season, and we'll give you your first month's payment on us.
From DreamWorks Animation.
Are you my family? You don't have a family, and we're all going to die.
What? Comes the untold story of how 4 brothers became the Penguins of Madagascar. Skipper.
Well, Agent Classified.
My name isn't Classified. My name is Classified.
Kowalski.
There's only one way to solve this.
We should kiss.
Teamwork.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
Private.
Hello.
And Rico.
Handcuff them.
They just have flippers, and I have flippers, so it's flipping useless.
DreamWorks Penguins of Madagascar. Rated PG, November 26th.
Shopping online is as easy as it gets. Wouldn't it be great if hiring plumbers, carpenters, and even piano tuners were just as simple? Thanks to Angie's List, now it is. We've made hiring anyone from a handyman to a dog walker as simple as a few clicks. Buy their services directly at angieslist.com. No more calling around, no more hassles. Start shopping from a list of top-rated providers today.
Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. Visit angieslist.com today. Meet the lumberjack whose flannel was out of whack. Freedom to move is what he lacked, even when woodland creatures attack. Until they put Duluth free swinging flannel on his back, with armpit gussets to whack and hack. Now he's known as a lumberjack. Duluth Trading free swinging flannel. Swinging made easy. Flannel made burly. Get it only at DuluthTrading.com.
We got this one. We got Pepper. Did he help pick it out? No, he's a cat. How'd I get so big? Where am I? You were Mom's belly. How'd I get there? Wizards. Can you make it go faster? No, I already tried. Is this mine? That one's for Alice, but she doesn't know it yet. Why not? Mom says she's still cooking.
Capture your memories with Hallmark keepsake ornaments.
The more you learn about your insurance, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this, when you're really only covered for this. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Oh, no.
Who are you? Daddy, this is Blair. He booked this room with Priceline Express deals and saved a ton. I got everything I wanted. I always do. You seem nice.
All right, everybody, when you think winter, something like this probably comes to mind, right? Yeah, very snowy, cold picture. This is live right now. Forest Lake, Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities. Very cold outside, temperatures in the upper 20s. We've got some snow out there. The wind chill factor about 16, but we have had some sleet mixing in at times down at the airport in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it looks like the road is kind of wet right now, but temperatures, yeah, you're below freezing there, and you might not get back above freezing until it's time to carve the turkey. We're talking maybe 15, 16 straight days. It's crazy there, but also it's crazy cold across the Black Hills. In fact, that's where we sent our own Reynolds Wolf, and he's been there all today long through all this snow.
And he has an update for us now from Rapid City, South Dakota.
Well, other than a few telltale snowflakes you're going to be seeing moving across the screen, the big story is going to be the cold air that's going to move in. It's going to stay here for much of the week, even into the weekend. Temperatures will rebound into the 20s, but it's a far cry where we should be. Average highs this time of year, mainly some 50s. As you look around the scene, you notice that the snow has come through. I'd say anywhere from 2 to 3, maybe as much as 5, 6, maybe 6 inches of snow in some spots. Really hasn't hampered traffic too badly here. It did hamper the airport, though, where traffic was shut down there. In fact, the airport simply closed until things began to improve. And we're not going to see improvements in terms of the temperatures until we get maybe into the following week. But in terms of sky conditions, we could see some blue skies possibly over the next several days. But the Arctic chill, it's going to be here for a bit. What we're going to be seeing possibly into the early morning hours, single digits or even sub-zero. You factor in the wind, it is going to be absolutely brutal for the great people that call this great city home. Yeah, it's not going to be just here, though. We're going to see the cold air continue to migrate its way across the northern half of the plains, across portions of the Midwest, perhaps even into the central and southern plains. It's certainly going to be a big difference as Mother Nature, Old Man Winter, makes his first visit. Let's send it back to you.
Thanks, Reynolds. When we talk about snow and ice, we can't leave out travel woes, whether it's on the ground or in the sky.
That's right. Unfortunately, we've gotten word that I-70 in Colorado closed in the mountains west of Denver. Looking live near the Eisenhower Tunnel, you can see we have some traffic moving along. I also see some flashing lights out there. Hopefully no accidents, Paul.
Yeah, I think the way we're looking, the tunnel should be to our left. That should be eastbound traffic going to Denver on the near side of your screen, but definitely some trucks are heading up to the tunnel. Reports of a lot of accidents once you go through Loveland Pass, through the tunnel, and as you head down that grade towards Breckenridge and that area as well. A lot of road closures, a lot of snow has come in here, and temperatures will not be warming up anytime soon. So again, as you head to central and western Colorado, a lot of snow, but also eastern Colorado, the Front Range, also dealing with wind, cold weather, and plenty of snow.
And this after they had temperatures in the 50s and 60s earlier this morning. Pretty crazy that it has changed that quickly.
Well, definitely has been a tricky situation for some drivers trying to get around in all the blowing snow, and in some cases on the icy roads.
So I want to take everybody to Minnesota now. Kevin Gutnick with the Minnesota Department of Transportation joins us now to talk about what drivers there are dealing with. Thank you so much for joining us. What can you say about the roads there in your state, Kevin?
Well, I would tell you that this morning, as weather people, you know that weather can be unpredictable, and we had a situation this morning where the snow started coming in just about the same time that rush hour started, and the cars began to compact that snow and turned it into compacted snow and ice, and we had some pretty slick roads this morning. In late morning, early afternoon, we were able to get out on the roadways, put sand and salt down, and tonight the commutes are actually moving pretty well.
And Kevin, about that sand and salt, no, at certain temperatures that salt really isn't effective, and we're talking about a long duration cold event for much of your state, perhaps may not getting above freezing until maybe the day before Thanksgiving.
Right, but if we get the roads cleared now, and I think based on what I'm seeing with the weather, the snow is going to taper off, and we should have enough time to get out there and get them cleared, get salt down, and get that snow and ice melted off. So we should be in pretty good shape by the time that the cold snap rolls in.
All right, we certainly hope so. Kevin Gutnick, thanks so much for joining us on the phone from Minnesota this evening.
Yeah, well, what a difference a week can make from driving with windows down.
Well, to unfortunately having to navigate along these snowy, icy roads, our first named winter storm, Astro, definitely making its presence known. We'll head out to the lab for your winter weather update next.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. but Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, Patrick, let's go base, shark, blitz.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Abort, he's keeping it.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Everyone sees the same sky. But when we look up, we see something amazing. This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this. Listen to that.
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky, high 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies, low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
Toenail fungus? Don't hide it, fight it with new FDA-approved Jublia. Jublia, efinaconazole 10% topical solution, is a prescription medicine proven to treat fungal infections of the toenails. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor. Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness, itching, swelling, burning or stinging, blisters, and pain. Fight it! Ask your doctor now if new Jublia is right for you.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Simply type in a name and follow the Ancestry leaf far into your family's past. A past filled with stories that intrigue and inspire. And in doing so, reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
A true companion is someone who tells you things, is affectionate, and always has your back. Our pets take care of us in so many ways. That's why at Petco, we're so selective about what we feed them. Like Natural Balance, Ultra Whole Body Health, a gluten-free formula that supports everything from brain health to digestion. Because true companions always look out for each other. Petco, the power of together.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99.
Sheila, you see this ball control? You see this, right? It's 80% confidence and 64% knee brace. That's more. Shh. I know that's more than 100%, but that's what winners give. Now bicycle kick your old 401k into an IRA.
I know.
Listen, just get TD Ameritrade's rollover consultants on the horn. They'll guide you through the whole process. It's simple. Even she could do it.
Whatever, Janet.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
What are your neighbors doing?
Oh, are they gyrating?
Yeah?
Yeah. That's the no rain dance. They don't have Xfinity, so bad weather interferes with their satellite service.
It's a no rain dance. Wow.
You should see them on game days.
It looks like fun.
It's not.
Don't settle for outdated satellite. Get reliable TV service rain or shine with Xfinity.
Now at 1-866-680-4971.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Welcome back for your winter weather update. I'm in the lab now with our storm specialist, Carl Parker, and we've just been amazed by this storm that's affecting our country right now. We've got the temperature drop, and we've got the snow that's been coming down as well.
Yeah, and you know, what an incredible Arctic front that we saw coming down through the plains today. In Colorado today, temperatures were in the upper 70s in the southeast part of the state, dropping off into the 20s and even the teens in the northwestern part of the state. And this is a visible satellite picture. So you notice here the motion, you can see it in the low-level cloud coming down to the south right there. So that is the Arctic front. But we see something else when we zoom in a little bit.
Oh, I know.
Yep, right in there. And hopefully it's not too difficult to see, but
that's dust, right?
Watch this. Yes, right here. This is the Arctic front. Right there, that is the dust that's being blown by that Arctic front, and winds of 61 miles per hour kicking up that dust. And look at this. This is a photo that was taken by the Pueblo National Weather Service. So right there, that's the leading edge of that dust.
The National Weather Service calling this a haboob now, by the way.
Yes, they are calling this a haboob, yeah, which is a term for a widespread dust storm, which is exactly what this is. So this ushered in that change with those very strong winds. It's not surprising to see a big gust of wind like that when you get such a big change in temperature. Temperature really shapes pressure, and pressure has a lot to do with how strong the wind is. And then this was taken at the top of Pikes Peak at about 10,000 feet, and those low-level clouds are coming in at around 3,500 feet along with that low-level cold air. It's very shallow cold air, so it was actually a little warmer for a time above while the cold air came in down lower in elevation.
That is so wild.
I know, it is amazing.
And the winds up over 50, 60 miles per hour?
Oh, the winds were crazy today. Very strong wind all across the state. And then here is a timeline of how this went down. So here we are looking at 1:30. We're at 51 in Denver, 66 in Pueblo. It was a beautiful weekend across the high plains there. And then going into later afternoon, drops to 34 in Denver. In one town in Colorado, we saw a drop of 43 degrees in less than 4 hours time. So huge, huge changes. And then the leading edge of that cold air dropping down into the panhandles beyond that. So just a remarkable change there in the plains. It changes more quickly here in the plains than anywhere else because you've got the Rockies over here, and so that really funnels that cold air and just drives it straight southward. It really adds to the momentum, the forward momentum.
We should mention it's not done there either. Even though Denver, it's pretty brutal for us, but this invasion is going all over the place.
It's going all over, and it's going to last for a long time. We're going to get reinforcing shots of cold air. Here in the Twin Cities, we're going to be below freezing right through the weekend. And wow, what a snowstorm. I mean, look at this. 16.5 inches, St. Augusta. That's northwest on 94. And Asante got 11 inches of snow. Hinckley north on 35 getting 8 inches. And it's over for now, but there is more snow on the way. There's a close-up look at the radar picture. You see how it's really beginning to thin out. But another little series of waves will come through. So we'll get some additional snow showers overnight tonight. Here's the model forecast. This is the high-resolution model showing additional snow, some snow showers through late tonight, even into early tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, once again, could be very difficult. And we did see a staggering number of accidents, almost 400 car crashes in the Twin Cities today. So I guess people getting adjusted with that first snow. I mean, generally, they're very well adjusted to winter weather in this part of the world.
Usually you know what to do, but I mean, don't just assume that you got the good tires, you got an SUV, you're going to be able to go your speed limit, because in these kinds of conditions, you really need to slow it down.
Absolutely, and this is a good reminder about that. And again, some lingering snow showers, so probably about 1 to 3 inches in the Twin Cities. That's going to be about it. But the heavier snow will then lift up into areas farther north and to the east. So there's the broader picture. There's the next round of snow that's coming into the Twin Cities. And then here's the snow that's going to be going on right through the day tomorrow. Could be another foot of snow in the UP of Michigan in particular.
And we'll continue to be right here following it for you. Paul, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Well, as Carl just talked about, cold air is coming, and it's only going to get colder. We're not just talking about a couple of degrees here. We're talking about relentless Arctic air that you'll have to deal with day after day, perhaps week after week. That includes you in St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Dallas, even Denver. Find out the what, the when, and how long next.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 61, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, a mainly sunny sky, high 80, winds west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear skies, low 62, winds northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to winter. At least that's how it's looking across the northern plains and the upper Midwest right now. Several states buried in close to a foot of snow with icy temperatures to go along with it. A 1-2 punch from Winter Storm Astro and an invasion of Arctic air have our teams busy all across the country right now. Meteorologist Reynolds Wolf is covering our first named winter storm of the season in Rapid City, South Dakota. Mike Seidel braving the elements near the Twin Cities, and our storm specialist Carl Parker tracking it all from the lab. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. Good Monday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Paula Goodlow. Well, portions of the country look more like January and feel like January than November here, with 6 million people feeling the effects of Winter Storm Astro, and then 200 million people impacted by the invasion of polar air, pushing all the way into the deep south.
Let's talk about how Winter Storm Astro is affecting people right now. In fact, one of the areas seeing the storms, worst of it, is in the Twin Cities area.
In fact, our Mike Seidel is just north of there, about 30 miles or so, in the town called Forest Lake, Minnesota. And Mike, 9 inches of snow on the ground. How are people dealing with this, realizing that we're still more than 2 weeks before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, not too shabby for the 10th of November. What they're telling me is they remember how bad last winter was, but almost without exception, it wasn't the snow that got them. We had above average snowfall up here, about 75 inches. Minneapolis had 69 versus an average of 54. But it was the cold, the brutal sub-zero cold that lasted forever. And now we're going into mid to late November with a 2-week stretch, at least, of sub-freezing cold. Now, in January, that wouldn't be a big deal because the average high in January is around 20, but the average high right now is in the mid-40s. So that's what they're thinking. Oh my gosh, not again. We'll see how it shakes out. We have no idea. Nobody really knows how the entire winter is going to shake out. And just because it's really cold in November doesn't mean it's going to be cold for the rest of the winter. But we've started off with a bang about here on I-35, as Paul mentioned, about 30 minutes north of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And look at the roadway there, heading up to the ramp there, going southbound. Notice the reflection. That's because we've had some melting, not because temperatures have gotten above freezing. They've been in the mid-20s all day out here, but because we've had salt on the road and traffic, and we got a little insulation through the clouds. Tonight, this will tend in some spots to freeze up, but with all the salt and temperatures going down to about 20, we should be in pretty good shape. Tomorrow night's a whole different story, because tomorrow night, with clear skies and lighter winds and this snowpack, we're going to go down into the single numbers. Around the state today, how about accidents? The Minnesota State Patrol reporting nearly 4 400 accidents, crashes statewide, and 559 spinouts. And keep in mind, parts of the state had little, if any, snow, especially the south and southeastern part of the state. By the weekend, we could be down below zero for the first time in November in 17 years. And the high school state semifinal football playoff games, 14 of them, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they may have to be rescheduled or moved. They're concerned about having to get the snow out of the bleachers, off the field. They're also concerned later this week all that cold air will turn the field rock solid and make it more dangerous, not as safe for the players. Kelly, Paul.
Wow. All right. Better to play it safe than sorry. Mike Slidell reporting live from Forest Lake, Minnesota. We'll be checking back with him throughout the evening.
All right. Time now to go even further in depth. Meteorologist Chris Warren is standing by live in the lab. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Kelly and Paul, we know Astral already hit several states with the heavy snow, and it's still going on right now. And poor driving conditions, in fact, started before the sun came up in the Black Hills of South Dakota and right on into Minnesota, dealing with some of that snow. In fact, a lot of it in some cases. Air travel was impacted, several flights canceled, even more delayed. And it's been a long day for drivers plowing the street. Some spots, including St. Augusta, Minnesota, already have almost a foot of snow on the ground, with more on the way. Central to northern Michigan could see 12 to 18 inches of snow when it's all said and done. And we do have expert analysis from the lab with storm specialist Carl Parker and a look at this big cold air that's coming down and how it's all connected.
Yeah, and a very topsy-turvy pattern right now, and this is something that we've seen a lot of in winter times in recent years. We've seen these very anomalous areas of high pressure well to the north and a meridional jet stream flow, whereas when you've got a latitudinal flow, west to east, you don't get the big intrusions of cold air, and things move along very quickly. But when you have this meridional flow that goes north to south, big wavy pattern, you get these big intrusions of cold.
And it looks like a rut, and it can feel like a rut.
Absolutely, and this is what's happening right now. So you've got this huge dip in the jet stream that is concordant with the temperatures across the northern part